Because all your old intros have Thursdays on them.
What's up and welcome, y'all. It's Auntie with Make It Make Sense with Auntie. Your girl is on Ladies Night now on Tuesdays. We have moved from Thursdays, so no, I did not leave BFAM. We just left Thursday to come chill with the ladies. I want to say shout out to my girl, Miss Rhonda Jones over at Ink and Rhythm, who actually goes before me at 7. And make sure after the show, y'all stay tuned for Simply Complicated with Miss Tanisha Marie at 11. So yes, Auntie is back to Tuesdays. And when I say back to Tuesdays, if you don't know, Auntie actually started on a Tuesday night with BFAM at 7 o'clock on January the 2nd of 2020. What was it? 2023. Yeah. Yeah. We're going on 2 years, y'all. So yeah, we will be in Atlanta again this year. Shout out to everybody that is tuned in to me tonight, who is watching, to all my faithful listeners, to my soon-to-be listeners, to everybody that want to make it make sense with Auntie. I do have a new segment tonight that is called Sip and Spill. So on this episode, you will be on this segment, you will actually be able to write in if you got some confessions, you got some stuff you want to Auntie to make it make sense with. I got a wild story. I guess I'm about to break it up in parts for my sip and spill for tonight. Listen, Auntie be Auntie, make it make sense, be making it make sense. I have to on a regular daily basis. Tonight I have an exciting show for you. We're going to talk about some of these cuts, especially these SNAP benefit cuts that's about to go into effect. Some of you have already seen it. Some of y'all about to experience it. We're going to see how that's going to affect you. People that you may know, how it's going to affect the economy. So yeah, so I am excited to be here tonight, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I am super excited to be here on Ladies Night. We're going to rock this thing out. We definitely going to make it make sense. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it because I've been seeing a lot of the response videos, a lot of the videos that have been circulating. So yeah, and don't let me forget my sponsor. Shout out to my boy Pedro over at the HS Soap Company. Auntie does suffer from HS. So if you don't know what that is, it's hidradenitis suppurativa. It is an autoimmune issue that does create different sores. If you experience eczema, I'm telling you, listen, you want to reach out to the HS Soap Company today. Make sure you tell him that Auntie sent you. If you see his the super mystery box is always fun. It has a variety of different scents. And listen, y'all already know me. Mental health is always the top key, but you always want to be well inside and out. So with that being said, make sure y'all check out my girl over at Rena Simone. I mean, you want to check her out for her beauty and wellness. It's inside and out. So whether it's if you want to do some crystals, if you're just looking for a whole revamp, I'm just telling you, just reach out to Rena Simone over there and tell her Auntie sent you as well. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And to the man of the hour, Mr. Show Out over at Smooth Transition Design. Contact him today if you are looking for logos or branding. If you are looking for any of your t-shirt designs, the holidays are coming. If you want something that is custom, you can go ahead and reach out to us anytime. Trust me when I tell you, I am wearing one of the originals. It is to make it make sense. These are available. Let me see. Can you see it? These shirts are available. This is actually a dress. I do custom work, therefore, so you can actually get any of my designs on any item of clothing or bags. Now, this is what's exciting for me. I was just telling y'all, Auntie been here before. On January the 3rd, we will be in Atlanta. This will be our second time. And trust me when I tell you, you do not want to miss it. If you missed the first time, you missed the treat. This time, you definitely will miss something. We are working with children ages 6 months up to 23 years old. And I'm telling you, if you have a 6-month-old, they're going to be excited. 23-year-olds going to be excited. It's something for everybody to do. Like I said, we will be at the spaces in Atlanta. We will be up there with DC again. I'm prepared this time, DC, for the cold. Last year it was cold up there. Auntie wasn't ready for it because I am a Florida girl. But if you would like to become a sponsor, you can reach out to Auntie at admin at Make It Make Sense for Auntie. Again, if you would like to partake in these events, I will have an Eventbrite that will be up by the end of the week that you will be able to go on and get your tickets. If you would like to be a sponsor or if you would like to be a vendor, you can reach out to me today. I will have everything available for you by the end of the month. So November 1st, I will have the sponsorship packets available. If you have donations that you would like to make to the show, if you have anything that you'd like to put into the swag bags, reach out. We are ready for it. And as you know, when life give you lemons, make it make sense. Well, Auntie, I am your mentor and your host. I am here for you whenever, wherever, whatever you're going through. I don't care what city, state, country you in. If you need somebody to talk to, you can always reach out to Auntie, and we will definitely make it make sense. You can reach me at admin at Make It Make Sense with Auntie. You can reach me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Spotify. What is it? School. So you can reach me. If you want to reach Auntie, you can definitely reach me. I am available and you will hear my voice. It's not a recording and it is not AI. But we will definitely make it make sense. Again, 656-216-1373. You can call, reach out to Auntie today. So we definitely, like I said, we're going to make it make sense with Auntie. Again, I'm so excited about being here on the Tuesday night. It's so exciting. I got to change my schedule up at work. I'm unused to that, but we did. But tonight, so like I explained to everybody, if you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight we will be discussing not the budget, the shutdown, the government shutdown. I'm pretty sure if you like me, if you've been on social media, if you've been just scrolling through social media, you have come across some of these videos where people are responding to the government shutdown. They are responding to the possible elimination of the benefits of the EBT benefits. So there are families that are worried about how they are going to eat, how their children are going to eat. I did make a post. So like I told you, I'm going to jump right in here. If you are new to Auntie, you're going to learn real quick that Auntie is a person that definitely sees things from different sides of you, but I'm not going to just go along with whatever just to appease anybody. Now, with that being said, let's discuss. So I've been seeing the videos. They've been passing around a lot of videos. I've been hearing a lot of comments. Some of them have been very ignorant, and then some of them I definitely are legitimate about making it make sense. I remember, and I'm speaking for myself because I can't speak for nobody else, but I can speak to others to teach them or hopefully guide them into a path of making it make sense. I remember, and I can say this, I was like one of the first people in my family to get on public assistance. I remember I was like, I think I was, I want to say I was like 19, 20. I got accepted into the housing here. I was a mother. I was I was a teenage mama. So yeah, I did. I got accepted into the housing here. Also remember that it was times that I met people, friends, you know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing to knock them because I understand people that was raised up in housing, that was raised up on the system. And don't get me wrong, I remember receiving the food stamps and the coloring books is what I used to call them. But as far as me, like actually living in housing and doing all that stuff, that was on me. So yes, my mother did receive assistance, but as far as me living on the system and doing that, that was just me. But I remember, you know, times of me going to get assistance and these people asking me all these personal questions. And yes, I had a child, and yes, I knew I needed to feed my child, but I didn't want to be the person that was giving them all this information. And like so many other people, I neglected to tell them some things. And then they start changing up the rules and regulations where they were requiring more information for you. I also remember when I think I was my late 20s, early 30s. I remember that I got accepted onto the Section 8 here in Hillsborough County. I remember getting on the Section 8. I remember at that time I was in a relationship. I had got a relationship after being on Section 8. but then I ended up getting married. And I remember everybody telling me, because I remember growing up, oh, you better keep that section. Don't you ever give it that section. That don't you ever put people on your section. You know, you keep that because you're gonna always need it if something happens. And it's true because you know it is something for if you are falling on hard times, that assistance is available for you. But then what happens when we get those that get on the system and get comfortable, which is what I feel is the reason why we're at the point that we're on right that we are at right now. And this is why I said I knew I was gonna get some backlash, but I'm sorry, not sorry. Uh, Truthfully, I'm not sorry because I'm gonna say what has to be said. This is, and we have said it. I know I've said it myself. There are a lot of people that get on the system and get comfortable with the system, and then they become products of the system, and then they raise children that become products of the system because that is the plan. I remember meeting people that told me they was gonna stay on the system until the system kicked them out, and you know that happened. I've been watching the, you know, they say don't use the word too much, but gentrification and the improvements that have been made in my city across the county and how things have changed and a lot of the housing developments have been torn down and they've been rebuilt. Um, but I've also looked at the homeless rate that has went up, and I looked at who went and occupied these spaces that were torn down. So we did realize then, we should have realized that some changes was going to be made or were being made at that point then to cancel out a lot of stuff. Did we expect it to be the food? I did. Let's go back to a couple of years ago, right before we came with COVID, and then they went to talking about the prices of meat. And I remember having a conversation with a lady because at that time, right after COVID, I ended up opening a catering company, and I remember having a conversation with a woman who owned a farm. And when we had this conversation, the lady was explaining to me that soon it was going to be too expensive to do anything because at this point it was hard for her to even feed her animals in order for them to produce, you know what I'm saying, for us to be able to purchase eggs. And it was and then I remember when, like I said, owning the catering company and then going into the stores and going into the warehouses and going online and trying to order product and seeing the prices that had changed. So we then knew then that prices was going up when we started seeing grocery stores and the prices changing and gallons of milk was $5 and a 12 dozen of eggs was $6. We knew then that they were doing something that was changing to us point of us being able to see if we were going to be able to survive. They started telling us that we needed to start farming and we needed to start getting back to the land. And then they started introducing all this other stuff about, you know, bringing in about older slavery and the people buying out this land. Now we're at a point where people that didn't take it serious or those that have relied upon the system are being faced with, you're not going to have a way to eat if you have not taken the steps to go out and do what was beneficial for you and your children. And the reason, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be honest, unless you are handicapped, unless you are a child, if you are an able-bodied human being that could get up and go to work every day, I do not feel sorry for you. I'm not gonna. I don't. I do know that this is going to affect the economy in multiple ways because we have already seen videos being displayed of people saying they're going to go in stores and just take because they're not going to pay the money out of their pockets. Um, I did tell you I am going to go over some of the key points. And it's not just going to be Auntie because again, if you don't know me, if you find out, I am going to bring y'all facts and I'm going to make sure I have something to substantiate it. So with reviewing everything that was going on, I just went and found a few key points that was like that just like reached out to me that I felt like the public needed to know if you were not paying attention some of the things that were going to be and how these changes are going to affect everybody. And when it came to the eligibility changes, able-bodied adults without dependents aged 18 to 64 will now be subject to work requirements. Now, if you are age 18 to 64 years old, now this is a 10-year increase because the age used to be 54. So now they went to the age of 64 years old, which means that they're not retiring. So your retirement age is 65. So now they expect you to work until you're 65 years old. And if you're able bodied, then expect if you want to receive assistance, then you will need to do the things that the requirements for that assistance. Also, parents with children 7 and older will not be exempt. So, ladies, if you are out here, if you have these babies and you are having them, and I know it used to be under 5, um, they've increased that to 7 years old. So if your child is 7, they expect you to get up and go to work because that child should be in somebody's school. So at 7 years old, ladies, if you have these children, men as well, not just ladies, but if parents, if you have children that are 7 years old and you have been relying upon the benefits of SNAP, you now know that you will have to get up and go to work or go and do the requirements of their work programs, what is required of you, wherever state, excuse me, whatever state that you're in. Veterans, young adults exiting foster care, and homeless individuals will no longer be exempt. Now, that one is one that again I feel like sometimes some of this stuff, like I said, I agree with it first in some spots, but not all of them. If we have veterans, people that have went and fought for this country, fought so that we are able to provide these benefits to other people, if they are receiving benefits from their work that they have given to us, why are we requiring them if they need assistance from us to go out and continue to do these things if that is, you know what I'm saying, if they are in need, if they have already given to us, why are we again turning around and telling them that, oh, it means nothing, it means nothing, but we still want people to go to fight these? Okay, never mind, I'm not going to touch that one right now. And then some legally present non-citizens such as asylum seekers and refugees will lose access to benefits. All right, how you doing, DJ? That's good. I'm glad. Thank you for tuning in tonight, Mr. Dwight. All right. So the benefit amounts change. If you okay, so if you're receiving benefits, you may receive a decrease due to the more stricter utility allowances calculation. So now they're going to be more strict with the utility calculations, how much you should be spending on bills. It says that the internet costs can no longer be included in your utility deductions. So now in that form where if you go and apply for assistance and they ask you about your bills and then they ask you if you have an internet, that's no longer a part of it, which I think is crazy to me because everything has now become technology based. So you need internet. Um, all righty. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to stop right there. We're going to go to a video that I had found of a young lady who was discussing how the benefits, this cut is going to affect some people. And when I watched this video, it stood out to me because of her take on what is going on. So we're going to go to that video so you all can see what it is that I'm talking about.
My children don't eat that. Well, baby, them children gonna be hungry then. And when they hungry, they will eat that. I don't have much food, but I made some cornbread last night.
Clocked it, and I ate it too.
And did. Still got this pot of beans from last night in the crock pot. Go to the grocery store and buy you a big old thing of rice like this. Or go to the Dollar Tree and get some of those bags of rice. I can't reach it right now. Hold on. I can't reach the rice. But these are the bags I got from the Dollar Tree. Baby, these beans will take you a long way. If everything fails and go to hell, rice and beans or beans and cornbread. What are my old school folks at that grew up on cornbread and buttermilk? Now, baby, I do not, absolutely not like buttermilk. But my grandma used to make cornbread and used to pour the regular milk over it. That was a meal back in the day. I promise you we didn't go to bed hungry. So don't tell me, oh, my children don't eat this. If they hungry enough, they gonna eat it.
And young lady, I absolutely 100% agree. I do believe, she hit some key points. We have gotten to a space where our children have become, and don't get me wrong, I believe in giving your child what they want to eat, but children also have to understand the boundaries. Um, we got a lot of real lax as far as parents with the snacking and which was a big thing that they went in first and were like, okay, if you get assistance, then you won't be able to purchase sodas and snacks and all this stuff, and people went up in an uproar. Which I feel that they should have just allocated a certain amount that was available for parents if you receive assistance to be able to purchase hot food if maybe you were out with your kids and you needed it. But it wasn't like, oh, you can do this all the time. It was just a certain emergency fund allocated for that in the assistance. It could have been used for either, food for you to cook, or maybe, allow them a meal out that they're able to eat. Also, when it comes to the snacks and cutting off kids, you can't really just cut a child off and say, oh, no, you don't need the snacks. That's not fair, but I don't feel that, you should be able to go and spend thousands of dollars on snacks. So, yeah, I do agree with some of the things that are being changed, but going in and just taking all of the benefits, with and the increases in certain programs, like I was saying with the utilities, they said the thrifty food plan updates will be limited to every 5 years and must be cost neutral. So that's another program that they're going to be making changes to. So, and when then I looked at the administrative changes, and this is what's going to go, it falls back onto your state and how the state plans on handling this, because it says that the states will now be required to pay 75% of the SNAP administrative costs, which is up 25%. So it's up from 50%. So now they're requiring the states to take over more of these of the food program to provide for their state. So if your state is going to go along with this program and they're going to pay this amount, then you may see some cuts, but it won't be completely cut off. Federal funding, it will be reduced, projected 19 million, a shortfall. So about $19 million shortfall is what they're looking at now. The impact, and that's what we were talking about, the impact on how this is going to affect everyone. There will be millions will be affected from this, whether it is a reduce or your benefits will be terminated. And according to according to them, this will save about $186 billion in over 10 years. So in about 10 years, $186 billion from cutting food benefits. And this timeline, listen, and this is not something that is, oh, we have time. This is supposed to go into effect November the 1st. So November 1st, 2025, some states may suspend benefits if the shutdown does continue past October the 27th. So if they continue to go through this shutdown, then you can look for some of these changes to go into effect. Maryland right now is what I'm seeing is expecting to go ahead and pay $412.5 million for the SNAP administration increase, which is up over $300 million. So this is the effect, the changes that's going on. Now, if you're listening and if you're receiving assistance, or if you have an opinion on what is going on, you can go ahead and write in. I did speak to some people pertaining to this subject, and they did have a lot of very vocal points. I did meet some people, like I told you, some people say they're going to just go steal it. And they have videos that tell you that. You do have some people that, did take heed to what was going on since COVID. So they did start more farming and doing more natural cooking. So more fruits and vegetables at home that they were growing on their own lands. So that, will curb some of that cost. But if this is something that is going to affect you or someone that how has it affect you, or are you worried about it happening and what's going on? Because I know, like I said, me personally, I understand, and I'm looking at it from all points. I can see where those that are not getting up, going to work, those that are, and let's be honest, the ones that made those response videos are pretty much the ones that they're talking to. The ones that made videos saying how if you don't feed my children, if you don't do this, I want y'all to understand every time y'all go in there telling them about what they don't have to do for your children and you write some more information on that piece of paper, you have given those people all access to do whatever they want to you and your children. You have to just accept that love. You have to make it make sense. So when they go in there and tell you that, oh, we finna cut this, or you have to do this, baby, just be prepared to cut it or get up and do it, because you have allowed yourself to become comfortable to the point that instead of using it as a resource, you got there and you became comfortable. I thank God that I was unable to get comfortable. Yes, I did. I became I remember it was an incident that I was sitting on the porch one day. I'll never forget it. Like right now I'm saying think about it. I'll never forget it. And I was sitting on my porch and it was in the middle of the day. And it dawned on me like, dang. And I was 21. I was like 21 years old. And I was like, ain't no way. This finna be me. Sitting out here outside all day. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting out here gossiping, being messy. Because I was in the streets. I was getting in fights. I was doing some illegal activities that I had no business doing. I was doing all kind of stuff. I really, really was. So I thank God for salvation. I thank God, you know what I'm saying, for his grace and his mercy. Because I know that if it was not for him, I would not be able to sit here tonight with y'all and to actually make it make sense with y'all. For real. I would not be able to do it. I wouldn't, because it's so many things and it's so many times that I know that for myself that I would have gave up, or I would have been locked up for a longer periods of time than I was locked up. I would have went through things that, and I've been through some stuff. I've been through some real bad stuff. If you've seen any of my shows, I've told my testimony. Yeah, I'm not afraid to ever tell about anything that I've ever been through. I believe that nobody can hold against me anything that I've actually lived through it. And all you can do is make it make sense, especially in this month of October where domestic violence awareness and breast cancer awareness and autism awareness and what is it, small business women, small business and I mean, it's just so much stuff going on. I am grateful and I am so thankful that people still look to Auntie to make it make sense. That people that I am here to be able to share my stories, to tell the situations that I have lived through. I remember going through things and hearing people say, "Oh, you act like you done been through everything." I ain't been through everything, but I've been through enough to tell somebody, so they ain't got to go through it. Or if they do go through it, you know what I'm saying, they got a little guide to help them, and they know somebody that they could call and say, well, you done went through this, and how can I, or what was it a way? I can't stop your plan or what God has intended for you. But you know what I'm saying? There's always people that are there to help you and to guide you. And that's what I come here to do. I come here to, to make it make sense with everybody, to help them make light of their situations. Who is it? I'm trying to think. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I know. Oh, okay. I know what it was. And rest in peace to Mr. D'Angelo. And I was reading. I was reading the article on his passing, and I was reading, his son, speaking of the passing of him and the passing of his mother, Angie Stone. And I was sitting there thinking, because I buried my mama and I buried my daddy. And so to hear him speaking when he lost his daddy, but to see the world speak out when this man left here, it was like to know that this man touched so many lives. And you rarely, I mean, I rarely heard about him in, doing other things outside. I rarely heard about him in negative situations, even though I know he overcame a lot of things. He went through a lot of stuff. And those are the ones that we need to, take heed and pay attention to. The ones that are around you that are there for everybody, that's standing up, listening. That I know I got a little bit off subject. Somebody had sent me a little comment, and I'm responding to them. I'm not gonna call them out because they didn't want to be called out. But yeah, just sometimes you just, it's okay. Um, to allow somebody to be there to guide you. It's okay to reach out to some people. I do understand that there are people, so I will go over there for a minute. It is okay to not be okay. And I'm speaking from experience from Auntie. I'm telling y'all that it is okay. And this go for my men and my women. And I want the men to hear me when I say this, and I want y'all to hear me loud. Auntie will stand in the paint for y'all, but Auntie will also call y'all out when y'all wrong, because we're going to make it make sense. There is no benefit for Auntie to sit up in there and pretend with you or to tell you that something is okay when it's not. It is no reason for me to sit around you and to enable you if I'm supposed to be helping you to heal. I can't heal you now, but I can help you heal. I can walk you through the process. I definitely can walk you through the process. So if you are a man that is going through something and you feel like the weight of the world is on you, trust me when I tell you that every woman that's out there, and I need the women to hear this too. Every man that reaches out to a woman ain't necessarily trying to sleep with that woman. Sometimes there are men out there that are going through some things that need to hear a woman's voice just to tell them that it is okay, because we do have men out there that have lost their mothers. We do have men out there that are lost. Same thing with women, but we are speaking out to the men because, again, somebody reached out. I definitely want you to understand that it is okay. It is more than okay. When you are going through some stuff, it's okay for you to speak out to somebody. It's okay for you, to let somebody know that this is what's going on. It's definitely okay to not be okay. You can reach out to me after my show tonight, and I definitely, we can have a conversation. We can sit down and talk about what it is that you're going through, because I always want everybody to know that they have somebody. Don't ever feel like you don't have nobody because you have Auntie. My name is Auntie for a reason. I'm here. I'm everybody's Auntie. How you doing, niece and nephew? It's been a long time. I ain't seen you. Maybe I ain't even met you yet, babe. But you're still mine. So if you go, yes, and I really appreciate you for reaching out. Um, Most definitely. Don't ever, ever, ever feel like you have to hide your feelings if you are going through something. It's okay. Everybody in the world going through something. I just got through talking about it, and some people finna really go through it in the next couple of weeks because we are vastly approaching November 1st. And I just want y'all to know that with that, there are going to be a lot of things that are going to take place. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen within the next month and 2 months that we need to be paying attention to, because there are some things that's happening that in this world that, at this, it was not to say we have to go along with it, but it's in effect. So we need to know how to handle it, and we need to know how to make it make sense. Yes. Yes. I ain't gonna lie, I told him I needed some food stamps. Yes, I did. People said no. Them people say no. They can. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care who hotel you living in. Them people say no, and that tells you right there. Like these people. I live in a hotel, and which is roughly it. Well, okay, so it is about $400 a week, and that is down cheap compared to what I was paying. So the average that I was paying about 6 months ago, no, I'm not, about 4 months ago, was 600. It was like about 640. So I got like a 200 and some dollar decrease with staying in a hotel. Not receiving food stamps and stuff. So that's spending money, hundreds of dollars in the grocery stores, eating out. And I do that on a regular. So I know what it is to go into a grocery store and spend money and to have to spend cash. And I know the effect that has on me. So I know it's going to be hard on parents, especially parents that have multiple children that are out there. But I do want you all to reach out. All right. So we're gonna go in, but I do want you to go ahead and reach out to some of these food banks programs, some of these resources, YouTube it, how to eating on a budget or shopping on a budget. I do have a worksheet that I am putting together so that I will be providing it on the website that you will be able to go on and download to help you with that. But while we're doing that, we are going to go to the next which is the continuation of this one before we finish it up with the SNAP benefits. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the next post for you, and you can go ahead and with that one, DC, for me. Oh, I probably should have had it on my tablet. I can't even read it. I don't know what I did with my. See, y'all got to excuse me. I lost my glasses. Hold on, DC. I can't even see it. Oh man. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, there you go. All right. So what it says to you is that the breaking news that SNAP food stamps will be cut off after October due to the shutdown. A letter from the USDA's Food and Nutrition Service warns that if Congress does not reach a funding agreement soon, there will not be enough money to pay full November SNAP food benefits for the roughly 42 million Americans who depend on them. The agency has directed states to hold off on sending November benefit files to EBT vendors until further notice due to uncertainty over federal appropriations. That means that benefits could be delayed or reduced depending on how long the government funding lapse continues. So this would directly impact millions of families across the nation, including thousands here in Florida who rely on SNAP to put food on the table. The letter advises state agencies to prepare contingency plans. And so what do you think that Congress should do with that? So that is the letter. That's the USDA. So that means that you can go on the USDA website. You can go on the Department of Children and Families in your state. You can pull it up and see what and how it is going to affect you. But as you see, October 27th, we are already what it is, the 21st, 22nd. So it's vastly approaching this a little less than a week. We are going to see what is going to happen. I pray that they come to a resolution, because if this goes into effect, it is going to, God forbid, go reach out into the streets if these people do decide to go out into these stores because they do not feel that they can feed their families. And I don't know about you, but I know if you put me in a situation where my children or my grandchildren can't eat and you leave me to my own devices, I'm just saying, just make it make sense. So I want everybody, to make sure that you are taking heed. If you're not paying attention, this is the time that you need to be paying attention. We see all these changes that are going to affect. I know some of you thought that when they first started, this wasn't going to affect you, but we are now seeing that it is affecting everybody. Because it's going to trickle down. If people go into the stores and begin to start looting the things, the prices are going to go higher for those that are already spending money. As far as people, we are going to see an increase in poverty levels, complete increase in the poverty levels, because if they can't afford to feed their families, we're already struggling, to pay rent. Rent, I think the rent increase is like $1,700 for a one bedroom. So, and with them, all these budget cuts, housing programs cutting, food programs cutting, I really don't know what we're going to do, but we got to come up with something. We need to come up with more food banks in the area. We need to start leaning on more community-based programs. We need to start working together to actually make it make sense. We need to go back to how it was back in the day. Y'all heard the young lady. It's time to go back to, I don't want to call them struggle meals, but I'm going to call them to make it make sense meals. It's actually time. There's nothing wrong with your children eating out. There's nothing wrong with that. But your children also need to understand what it means to have a home-cooked meal in the household. TV meals are not meals. Yes, they are convenient for when your children need a snack or you're busy, but your children should not be relying on snacks and noodles and Takis and all this stuff that these people have had to actually go in and ban. And I'm saying that because listen, people do not ban stuff unless it becomes a problem for somebody. And the fact that they have went in, and this is what I think is crazy to me. And I'm just saying, y'all can make it make sense to me. The fact that the people had to go in and shut down an entire program that goes across the entire United States. These people had to go in and shut down by starting off by telling y'all was spending too much money on junk. They had to literally go in there and tell y'all that y'all was doing that. And tell you that they was gonna cut that benefit. Then it's to the and cutting people's food, you know what I'm saying? Telling people what to spend their money on, their money on is something different, because I feel as if I go to the grocery store and if I want to eat something, I want to eat it. I'm gonna buy what I want to eat. So to tell me, but I also understand that if I'm on the program from these people and they're giving me their money, they have every right to tell me what it is that I'm gonna eat. Just like when I was locked up, baby, I couldn't go in there and tell them people that I wanted a steak when they had already done put that meal together and told me that's what was coming on that tray. You had to get what was on that tray. So you're not going to be able to be on a system where you're telling people all your information. And so this, I want y'all to make it make sense. And whoever get mad at me, that's fine. My comments are open. My inbox is open. You have to make it make sense. If you are literally sitting around telling somebody all your information, giving them all your business, telling them people all this stuff, if you are going to the store, because I know y'all know it, you can literally dial the number on the phone card. Because I remember when I was young and I was getting it, and I got it. Miss Annie, I don't like the healthy food. That's too much. See, and I like the healthy food. I like fruits and the vegetables. I do. I really do. I like fruits and vegetables. But don't get me wrong, I like my other stuff too. So if I get in the mood and if I was receiving assistance, I don't feel anybody should be telling me how I should spend my food on how my palate is and what I want to eat. Now, with that being said, I also need some of y'all to understand that y'all got some of these champagne palettes when y'all around here with check soda budgets and it don't make sense at all. And then y'all getting mad because y'all spending up all these children food stamps in grocery stores buying all these steaks and shrimp and seafood. Now don't get me wrong, because my kids eat all of that stuff. But my children also knew what it was to have noodles and rice. And I'm not saying the oodles and noodles, yes, they had that they wanted to snack on. I'm talking about elbow noodles. I'm talking about going to the grocery store cabinets full of food that have to be cooked. You know, like what your mamas and grandmas used to tell you, they didn't buy all those snacks, because if they didn't buy all those snacks, then you didn't sit in the house and eat up all those snacks. And when they did buy snacks for us when we was getting assistance in the household, you knew that those snacks was limited because you didn't know when the next time they was going to the store to go get that. So I don't disagree with giving your child with whatever you want that child to have. However, I do understand that you need to teach your child boundaries. And a lot of y'all can't teach y'all children boundaries because you all do not have boundaries. That's why you go into grocery stores and you overspend on a bunch of junk. And your children spend their entire day eating junk all day long. Not healthy snacks, not healthy foods. And out. If you was going to the grocery store buying up all the fruits and vegetables in the grocery store, them people wouldn't have been tripping about this. In fact, you would have been helping the farmers. You would have been helping and putting back in, but instead you enable and put right into the same systems that y'all fussing and complaining about. Y'all sitting up here mad. I'm not mad. I can't get mad at these people for actually putting a limit on what y'all spending, especially when you want to continue to give them all of the information. I'm not going to say that it does not help to receive the assistance, but we have to understand what the word help means. And we have to understand that we are in a space that they can no longer provide that help, because some of those that got that help became greedy. They became dependent. They became complacent. And that is a problem that America sees. We complain and we sit and talk about a lot of these other countries, but a lot of these other countries, do we understand that when we go over there, what the reason why they don't believe that we know what the definition of hard work is, that we sitting around here, that we are a spoiled society, that we are sitting around here with food stamp programs and like this. These people have programs, assistance programs, you know what I'm saying, around the world. But we actually have it set up where they, and with no recourse. So now we have gotten to a space where we expect it. I told y'all I was on assistance when I was young. I remember when I moved in back to when I stayed in housing. And if my sister watching, she could verify this. When I was living in housing, it was a requirement that you had to get up and you had to be doing, you had to be going to school or you had to have a job. That was the requirements. And this was I moved in 99 and I stayed until 2001. So them 2 years I stayed in the housing here. And when I first, like I told you, I did become complacent. I was in the streets. I was doing all that stuff. But I then learned that they had programs, that they had school, and I love to go to school. I love to learn. So these people started paying us to go to school because they wanted to teach you how to be a better person, a better citizen, how to be productive in the society. So I did. I took the classes, me and my sisters, because they was allowing you to bring people with you to sign up for these classes. And I did that. The community, they was putting back into the community. They was paying us to go to school so that we'll come out of school and we'll go get jobs and we'll do that and we'll be productive. Have I had setbacks? Absolutely. But have I had stuff that I'm able to depend on because I went through those programs? Absolutely. I look at it now where I see some of the young ladies that come to my programs and some of the men that come to me that feel that either number one, the system is above them, they're not on, they ain't finna get on no system, they ain't doing no system. Or I have the ones that are completely relying upon the system and they expect the system to take care of them. And then they don't understand why they in and out of jail, why they got problems in the school with the teachers and the counselors. They don't understand why these people are always in their business. I know I watched what is it? Okay, so here, I'm pretty sure all y'all know her. There is a viral video of another content creator who had got upset about the school providing her children with um some food, some free food or whatever. And the reason why she became upset was not because her children were in need, was because it was almost as if they were signaling these children out to say that these children were going without. And she told them, I don't need this assistance. I truly believe that if they stop giving assistance to people that they think need it and start giving it to the ones that actually need it, and if they do have these requirements put in place for those that actually need the assistance, yes, I understand why you got to jump through hoops sometimes because people be playing with the system. I understand why they have to go through that. But y'all also have to understand, yes, Lord, and listen, don't get me wrong. So it's funny that you say that, Annie. Okay, it's so funny because so I have a gluten allergy, but I still eat some gluten. I do. So I have a gluten allergy. Also with my HS and a lot of stuff that I have going on with me, becoming a pescatarian is more healthy for me. You know, eating seafood and fruits and vegetables is something that would be beneficial to me. And my diet with me not eating red meats and not eating heavy products because my body don't break it down all the time. So eating seafood is something that is I like seafood and I eat seafood. So when I did receive assistance, yes, I'm pretty sure they was upset with looking at my receipts because I bought seafood. Was I in there just buying crabs for crab boils? Absolutely not. Did I spend a lot of money? Yes, because that was pretty much all I eat. If you know me, they'll tell you I eat seafood every single day and I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I feel better with myself. I feel lighter than me sitting there eating meat and all this other stuff. But do I understand why they're saying no, you shouldn't? But then there are whole, civilizations that just eat seafood. So for you to be able to tell a person, oh no, you can't buy that, that's wrong, especially if that's what they eat. But I do want y'all to also understand that it's not hard to calculate what's being spent and who eating what in a household. If you know that when you go into the grocery store, and this is for the ones that receive whatever amount, $400-$500 in food stamps, if they know you going into the grocery store and you spending $200-$300 on crabs, on seafood, and you get $600 a month. Okay, so you getting $600 a month, and you spending $300 on crabs. Make that make sense? Make it make sense. If you get $600 and you go spend $300 on snacks, make that make sense. Now, if you got a house full of kids, then that completely adds up because you got children go to school, they need snacks, they want to eat on little stuff. I understand, but then you have to understand yourself. Then that is not being logical and not being, you know what I'm saying, doing what you need to do as far as using the assistance. So yes, somebody is going to get involved. So I mean, this is a time again. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say something on it because it's something that we know we're about to be faced with, and there are so many people that have so many opinions with what's going on. I do want to say we're gonna pray for the world. I ask God to lay His hands and provide mercy upon all of us because this is going to be something. As we see that we do have a lot of individuals that deal with a lot of mental stability issues. Um, we see a lot of parents that are unaliving themselves and their children because they feel that the weight of the world is too much. So I'm praying that we come to a resolution because this is going to be very hard on a lot of parents that have not taken heed to that, especially a lot of young parents who have had a lot of these kids and now they're finna be faced with trying to figure it out. Those that didn't take heed to the warnings or didn't pay attention, this is a time that you are definitely going to have to make it make sense. So we are going to pray for the entire world because we are a real deal living this. This is not an illusion. This is not something that's on TV. It's not a movie that we don't watch. It's something that is a reality that this is taking place. Um, as far as food wise, it's like a depression almost because you finna see, like I said, in the numbers, millions of people that are about to be faced with how they're going to survive and how they're going to eat. So how is that going to affect the crime rates? Amanda, how pleasant to see you on Ladies Night. Thank you, Miss Amanda. Thank you. And I am so happy to be here. I am truly happy to be here on Ladies Night. I am ready to make it make sense all up and through here on Ladies Night. Because if you don't know, y'all about to find out that we're going to make it do what it do on this Tuesday night. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. But I truly want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. Again, this is Sip and Spill, making it make sense with Auntie on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock. I will be here every Tuesday. Y'all know it. If y'all got something y'all want to talk to me about, you got a question, got a concern, something that you're dealing with. If you have children that are dealing with some issues and they need somebody to talk to, uh, tell them to reach out to me. Again, parents, you can DM me. We got to save our kids. And this is something that's going to about to affect the kids. Most people don't take that into consideration, how this is going to affect the kids. Yes, we're looking at the parents and saying how we're going to feed our children. But I need y'all to understand how it is about to be for some of these children in some of these households with family members that don't know how they're about to make it, how this is going to affect the mental state of some of these individuals, how many children are going to be put in situations where they don't have anything to eat. I'm going to just say we did it when COVID was at. Yeah, we got to come back up with the Feed America feeding these programs to make sure these babies get fed. It's about to get real. Most definitely it's about to get real. 2025 is sure enough showing that. So I just want y'all to take heed. I want y'all to pay attention. If you are a parent and you receive assistance, you know that you're about to be faced with this. This is what's going on. We know that means that a lot of the food banks and stuff are going to become overwhelmed. A lot of programs becoming overwhelmed. If you're able to help somebody, try and help somebody. I pray that we are able to help somebody. I know it's going to be a big strain probably on a lot of the different programs in the community. So if you have any donations and you want to help somebody, don't know who to help, you can reach out to me. We'll make sure we get it to somebody that's going to need it because I know there are definitely going to be families that are going to be in need. Jesus asks that you just protect them, cover them, and keep them because we're about to see some stuff. Also, before we leave up out of here, make sure that if you are just tuning in to me, if you don't know, January the 3rd. So actually the date is January the 2nd, but the event will be January the 3rd. It will be 2 years of Make It Make Sense with Auntie on BFAM 109.6. And we will be in Atlanta celebrating. We did it this year. We're going to be doing it next year. And the rest of the years until I can't do it no more. We're going to celebrate in Atlanta with the youth, the young adults, the community. If you have an organization, if you would like to be a sponsor, if you would like to be a part of this event, if you would just like to come out, bring somebody to come out and just fellowship, if you want to be a vendor, reach out to me. We are getting everything set up November 1st. I will be releasing all of the information with the deadlines and pricing. I want to see you there. I promise you it's going to be a time. If you came this year, bring somebody, tell them what you experienced. It goes from the ages 6 months. You heard what I said, 6 months. So you bring your 6-month-old, 6 months up to 23 years old. Y'all come out here. We're gonna be networking. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna have a good time with the kids. We're gonna help them. We're gonna teach them. We're gonna learn from them because these children can teach us something. So Saturday, January 3rd, 2026. Meet me at the Spaces in at the Battery in Atlanta. We are going to turn up. We had a ball this time. I'm dressed. I'm prepared for the weather this year. But y'all come on out there and y'all help us make it make sense with DC. Listen, I love that man. We had a ball. We had a good time. And I haven't been back since then. So I got to make it more than going up here when it get cold. But we will be there. Make sure your kids out there. Oh, and you will get to meet our new characters from the Fruitiverse. I know you've seen it say the Fruitiverse. So I do have a new cartoon, a whole new series that's getting ready to hit the shelves, the stores. It is a cartoon. It is based on emotional intelligence. It is working with children, teaching resilience and self-love. It is based on fruits. So the fruit. So you will learn benefits and properties, and we're gonna learn about different things that we deal with in life. We're gonna meet some of the characters that can relate to the kids and relate to some of the people. You're gonna meet Bano. He my banana. He is so cute. But Bano, he has autism. And so he makes it make sense in the Fruitiverse. And you're gonna meet Juno and Soul, and we got Lawana and Mims. There's so many people, so many characters. We're super excited to bring it to the youth and the young adults. We let some of the kids see some of the stuff that we had, and they became very excited. So we know that we on the right road. We do want to teach our children that somebody does care, to teach them how, to deal with mental health, to deal with things that are affecting them when they have nobody to talk to or they feel like they have nobody to talk to. We want to teach them other ways, to release so that they become productive. That they're able to heal, to break generational curses. But I truly want to thank each and every one of you all for tuning in to Make It Make Sense with Auntie. Y'all don't go to sleep yet because listen, do not go to sleep yet. The night is not over. Go get you something to eat. Go get you a snack. I'm telling you, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Y'all have to make sure y'all stay tuned for Simply Complicated with Miss Tanisha Marie at 11 on BFAM Tuesdays, Lady Night. Thank y'all for welcoming me, for having me here. I'm so happy to be back on a Tuesday night. I don't know why my sound twisted. Because y'all got me on a Tuesday at 9. That's what it is. But no, I'm so excited to be back here. I'm very, very happy. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will be back next Tuesday. Make sure you stay tuned for Simply Complicated. I am here next Tuesday. Make sure y'all tune in at 7 for Ink and Rhythm with Miss Rhonda Jones. And again, I'm Auntie. Thank y'all for making it make sense. And when life give you lemons, make sure you always make it make sense. Y'all can reach out to me, admin, Make It Make Sense with Auntie. Thank y'all. See y'all next week.